Hello and welcome all in this video. So we are going to discuss about ascariasis. Ascariasis is a disease which is caused by ascaris lumbricoids. When ascaris lumbricoids enter into the body of the human being, that causes a disease. Disease is called as ascariasis. So when this ascariasis enter into the body, whenever anyone can get the infection when he or she consume the contaminated food, or they can drink such a type of contaminated water. That is, anyone can get infection when he or she consume contaminated food or contaminated water can be drink by that particular person, they get infection. Suppose in that contaminated water or food there is having the infective second stage larva eggs of this ascaris, then that particular person get this disease called as ascariasis. So which are the different type of symptoms of the diseases? That is, the incidence of this ascaris is greater in children than in adults. Which are different symptoms are found at the time of ascariasis? These are the larva often dangerous or more injurious. Larva prove to be more injurious than the adults of this ascaris, because larva often prove major injurious than the adult because they can causes hemorrhages. Then these larvae sometimes bore through the intestinal wall. By boring intestinal epithelium, they can enter into the general circulation. By boring intestinal epithelium, these larvae can enter into the general circulation, by which they may also enter into some vital organs like kidneys, spinal cord, brain, or muscles. So sometimes the larva can enter into the kidneys, spinal cord, brain, or muscles. Suppose when they enter into the lungs, inflammation of alveolar tissues can be takes place by these larvae, and this causes edema in that particular area. In severe infection, they may also cause pneumonia. When these larvae enter into the lungs, they can affect on the alveolar tissue, or inflammation of the alveolar tissue takes place. They causes edema, and sometimes they causes the pneumonia. They can now cause the acute pneumonia also. Infection then followed by the temperature, anemia, leukocytosis. This type of some symptoms are also found in this ascariasis. Infection also followed by the temperature, anemia, and leukocytosis. When the adult causes or enter into the body, that adult causes enteritis. And they can migrate into various organs. Adults causes enteritis, and through this migration into vermipore appendix, they can migrate into vermipore appendix. They can also enter into the gallbladder, bile duct, and where they causes inflammation of these structures. The inflammation of this vermipore appendix, gallbladder, bile duct can be causes due to the adult. Adult also draw the nourishment from intestine. They can take the ready-made food material from the intestine, and also they can suck blood from its wall. Adults can suck blood and nourishment from the host body, and they can also produce toxins. The worms also produces toxins, and that toxins may cause irritation of mucous membrane, and some nervous symptoms like convulsion and coma or nervousness is causes due to the entry of this type of, or whenever this type of worms, ascaris worms, into the stomach or into the intestine of that particular person. In case of children, due to protein deficiency, protein deficiency, the growth of that particular children is stunted. That is, the ready-made food material can be taken by this organism, and due to which in children protein deficiency causes, and due to which the growth of that particular child is stunted, and there occur pains, diarrhea, vomiting, and mild temperature also. This type of symptoms are also found in case of children. They can causes the intestinal pains, diarrhea, vomiting, and mild temperature. These type of symptoms are found in the children's. Which type of therapy given to ascariasis? So for this disease, infection may be diagnosed by examining the stool for ascaris eggs. By examining the stool, that is the waste material of that particular person, we can get the knowledge about the infection, where this person is infected with the ascaris. Then infection can be treated with the dose of hexaloresovicinol crystals, which is made in gelatin capsule. After about 12 hours of fasting, this type of dose of this drugs can be given that particular person who get the ascariasis disease, that is hexaloresovicinol crystals in a gelatin capsule to given that particular person after 14 hours of fasting. This was the first dose. And second dose is also given to that particular person after a fast of another 4 hours. After a fast of another 4 hours, a second dose is given that can kill the worms. By the second dose, which is followed by the first dose, that can be given after the fasting of 4 hours, which kills worms, and these worms are finally expelled by from the body by sodium sulfate. By the sodium sulfate, we can expel these worms from the body. Sometimes some anti-element drugs like oil of chenopodium or tetrachloroethylene, hetrazane, piperazine hydrate, these are some effective anti-element drugs are also given to that particular person. Also some mixture of tetrachloroethylene and oil of chenopodium is also very effective for this treatment of ascariasis, and some anti-element drugs can be used for the treatment of this ascariasis disease. And lastly, they are having some control measures by which we can do not get the infection of this ascariasis. So first of all, children should be made sanitary habits. Children should be made to observe the sanitary habits. The second one, control measure, that is vegetables grown in polluted soil should be thoroughly washed and boiled before consumption. Before consumption, we must wash this material, that is vegetables grown in polluted soil. Number third, fingernails should be regularly cut. Fingernails should be regularly cut to avoid accumulation of eggs below them. And also, hands should be properly soap washed before eating. These are some control measures